Right, Connor, over to you, mate.
Philippe, nice to see you. Thanks for your time as ever. Let's start with Harry Amos, who's obviously been confirmed now as a signing. Tell us a little bit about him and kind of why you wanted to bring him to the club.
First, it was not in our plans a few weeks ago to bring in a left fullback. With Ben and Lucien, we have two really promising talents for now and for the future. But because of the injury of Lucien, that will be longer term, we needed somebody in that position. And recruitment team was really fast coming up with Harry's name. So some people from the staff knew him already from before. I watched some games and I was directly impressed about what he did already at Sheffield Wednesday, so that it would be a good fit in the way we want to play football. So I think for him it's also a good step to come here in a young, exciting team where we want to build from the back, and that's also important in the player that he is. So I think for both sides this can be a win-win situation.
And I guess similar to Ali, certainly it seemed to like there was lots of competition for him. So the fact he's chosen to come here and Manchester United have chosen you, that's a good sign as well.
Yes, but okay, we're always honest in these talks with players. It's not that we sell them gold and golden stories. No, it's about honesty. I think it has also to do in the evolution of the team of the last couple of weeks, that people see the way the team is playing and the way that young players are developing, and maybe also in my old teams before, that there were always a lot of young talent coming to the surface and getting chances and growing. So that will also be a part of the story, yes.
And you've spoken about it before, this window in particular can be so difficult to get players who are ready and kind of have that championship sort of experience behind them. He clearly has half a season at the level in difficult circumstances. He looks like, unless you're going to tell me different, ready to kind of go straight away.
That's a really good try to get a good question.
I mean in general, to be fair, rather than just...
No, of course, if somebody steps in, he needs to get to know also all the principles and the way you want to play and all these things. But no, it's a very, very positive that he can step into all the trainings directly, that he played a lot of game minutes also, and he showed his physicality in those game minutes. So physically, he's ready to do the job for the team. Of course, you need to integrate yourself in a new team with a lot of new faces, and you need to adapt to everybody in the way the other players play, in the way we want to play, what's different than in his old team. So, but I'm very positive about his first trainings, and I heard also after the first training session that several players said, very interesting player, good player. So that's the best way to come into a club, I think.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, around that left-back position, you've obviously mentioned Lucien and Ben. Jeffrey Schlupp, where is he in terms of his recovery? Are you still expecting him to be out for a period?
Yeah, he will be still a while out, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I don't want to dwell on this because I know you've said plenty already, but just because there has been kind of some fresh stuff around this week, just to clear up with Josh Sargent, that is still as was in terms of the situation.
So, like I told you guys, nothing changed. Josh knows how to get back into the squad, how to come back to the squad, and he has the key in his hands about that, but nothing changed for the moment.
Yeah, fine. Moving on, Emmanuel Adebayoga, that's clearly gone through to Robin as well. Is that just reflective of the competition and whatnot that you've got at centre-back level, the fact you've kind of allowed him to move on?
Yes, because there's a tough competition. I have to say, for me, it's a really hard one the last couple of weeks to make decisions around that, because it's difficult to have two centre halves on your bench. I wish the rules were different and you could have, like, for every position you could have one player and you had 22 players in a squad, but it's only 20, so that means you have a goalkeeper for sure, and that you have 8 positions, 8 players for 10 positions. So normally it's a centre half that drops off. So it's not easy because Rory, Jose, Harry, Jakov, they're all doing a really good job in the trainings and the moments they play. So that's the case. So there was no room for extra players then in that position. And then you stop also young players in their development.
Yeah, and just on that, I mean, obviously we saw Harry Darling go off for half time on Tuesday. I don't know if you were asked about that after the game, but was that fitness? Was it just tactical and you wanted to bring Jose in?
It was a tactical decision, and we talked about it later on, so nothing special. It's maybe for you guys more interesting when it's a defender instead of an attacker, but for me that stays the same. All these positions are different. Only with the goalkeeper I don't do it so fast, but I try to make the decisions during the game that help the team for that moment, for those circumstances against that opponent, and what we need for that game. So that was the only thing about it.
And in terms of a couple, just fitness-wise to check on, Mankwa Forsen, where is he in terms of his recovery?
I expect him, but don't judge me on that because I'm not the doctor or the physio, but I expect him somewhere next week back in training sessions and building up again.
Shane Duffy still a period out for?
He will still be a few weeks out, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I wanted to ask you as well about Elliot Myles, who I think scored for the 21s on Friday, and clearly he's been building back up. What kind of have you made of him? Have you had an opportunity to look at him in training so far?
Yes, and with Elliot we had really good discussions because one moment you have with young guys that you need to decide if they're not playing enough with us or training enough with us all the time because there's a lot of competition. Do you put them on loan or do you keep them in the building and let them grow with under 21s and in moments with us? So that's what we decided together. Elliot had quite some injuries the last 2 years and he's making the right steps now. He's growing and you see him growing week by week. You see also with the goals and the game before also where he played well in moments, so we need to build him and it's somebody with some extra talent but also some things to work on. So we are doing that together with the second team. So he's somewhere in between, but really a guided story and guided from our side. And Ryan is there, the leading figure. Like I told you guys, he's the bridge with the academy, and he's leading that story really well. And Elliot feels really well also the evolution he's making now.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point you make. I mean, in terms of your role, I know you've got Ryan there as well, but does it come to you and you kind of decide this young player is ready for a loan, we want to give that, or do you have something less say in that?
We talk about those things. And of course, I think my voice is important in the story, but those are discussions made with Ryan, with academy director, with head coach of the second team, with Neil, technical director, with Ben also. So it's about decisions together and to work as one team and to see what everybody thinks. Everybody was aligned about this story, so that's an easy one. Sometimes it's not, and you need to discuss things. And then we talked with Elliot, and he was also aligned in the story, so it was an easy one.
Yeah, absolutely. Anis Ben Slimani, I wanted to ask you a couple on him because I think in the last 3 games, 2 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah, let's kick on, I would say.
Absolutely, but what do you feel has been kind of the key to that, the change to that? Because he was a player who, I know he had an injury, but at the start of the season there was maybe some kind of talk around his kind of future. What do you feel he's changed in his game that's brought him back in and obviously taking his opportunities when he's gotten them?
Honestly, I cannot say anything about that because I was not here. So I cannot say anything. When I came, Anis came out of injury, was physically not top fit yet. That moment, he worked hard, he was patient, he was very positive also in the moments when he was not in the selection. And he went into competition with the other players and he's doing really well now. And yeah, let's continue like that. So that's how it works, with working hard, showing yourselves in the training sessions, in the minutes that you get. I remember the first game, I don't know which game that was, that I took him off because it was not so good, but he came out of injury. He needed that moment also, and then to speak about it with images. We had meetings around that to show what we expect in that role. And the next game he played, he did it much better, and then he stayed into the team.
And I mean, around that position, I know you've spoken about this before, but you've now got a lot of competition. Oscar, who stepped into that role and started again there and scored. Anis obviously came on at half-time and contributed. You spoke about this at the start, some of those kind of tough selection decisions you're now getting. So you must be pleased as a coach to see that there are so many players who are kind of taking
I hope they give me headaches all season. I hope so. That would be the best for the club. Maybe not for me, but for the club. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of Coventry, just to look ahead to that, I mean, it's clearly a club that you know well. You had a spell there as a player. What's kind of your memories of your year at that club?
That I was unlucky with injuries there. I had 2 severe injuries. But I had a good time there. It was a good dressing room. A good, honest manager also. I liked my time with Gordon Strachan. I met a few weeks ago also one of my teammates here with Huckerby, with Darren. So that was also nice to see each other again. So no, really good memories, and I think in that year I found a love for British football. Not only for the football, but also everything around, the passion of the people. Everywhere that you go, also away fans and just life and how everybody loves football. I think it didn't start that moment because I was before already watching much of the day, but then I got a really taste of it.
I was going to ask you about Darren because I looked at the squad and there's a few kind of Norwich City names in there. Mark Edworthy, who won promotion here. Dion Dublin, who kind of ended his career.
Yeah, Dion was only 1 month that we were together, so yeah.
But Darren clearly, like you say, he bumped into that. Must have been nice to kind of see him after such.
Yeah, because he's still such an energetic person, and when you see him, yeah, I always need to smile. He's somebody who gives good energy. He was a brilliant lad to have in the dressing room. He was playing striker that moment with us and giving a lot of energy to the team. And we had a good time together, and it's nice to see each other many years later. If I'm honest, and I'm always honest, I have to say he didn't change that much. If I see the picture of those days in my head now, there's a lot of changement there. So clearly he didn't do a management role or so after, so he has a better life.
He's running a lot, I think, isn't he? I mean, I was going to ask you about that because obviously coming over to England and in your role now, is that something that's helped you? Because this club has a lot of players that have come from abroad and stepped into a new country for the first time.
No,
that experience,
sure.
Is that something that has helped you?
For sure, and it helped me also in my job before that. So it's different than in Europe. In some ways it's similar, in some ways it's different, but also I'm somebody who, how to say this best? If I step into the story, I need to feel that I can create a family there. So I need to feel also that with the people I work with are aligned in a lot of things, and that's also a vision about football, but vision about hard work. I cannot perform in an atmosphere where everything is relaxed and it's not important, all the details. It would not work because I would have a fight with everybody from the first day probably. So it suits also really well England and the hard-working mentality of people and the passion for football. So if people don't have that, then I will enforce that. But if it's not there, you cannot change people totally. So if you understand a little bit what I mean. So I always felt good here in this way of how people see football, how people live football, and all the passion around and inside the building also. And also I'm somebody who likes tradition, respect. If you see how much respect is here for the traditions in football, in buildings, in everything, also in ex-players or things like that. For that's a big difference with some European countries where it's much less. So that's why I feel good here.
Good to hear. Good to hear. In terms of tomorrow, I mean, you said, I think it was before Wrexham, you like challenges. This feels like it's going to be a week, to be fair, of really interesting challenges to kind of see how much your team has progressed.
Yes, totally, and you say that in a really right way. So Coventry is first in the league, won the most games, by far the best goal difference also of the league, so they cannot be a bigger test for the moment than this one. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have a good feeling also about where the team is for the moment. And of course it's not at their top, but the team is growing. We had a good training week, and now there's a lot to be proven on the pitch against the top quality squad, who last year missed promotion by details. And if you see where Sunderland is now in the Premier League, people in Coventry will think we were really close to something special. They're now already something close to something special by being in the first spot. So they kept the team together, they invested more to make the squad bigger in depth and to add some quality. So they are building a story already for a longer term than we are doing now. So it's really exciting to see how far we can go tomorrow evening. And also for me, also exciting to see how much energy our fans can give us in this situation. How much Carrow Road can boil, because I feel the last couple of weeks also with the games, and for sure with the away games, how much positivity is back, how much energy is back from the fans, how happy they are. Yeah, I want to feel that tomorrow during the game, and that can lift the players also to something special.
Yeah, I know. I was going to raise that point around the fans with you because, and you know what it was like. I'm sure you were told when you came in about Carrow Road and how difficult it was, and I'm sure there would have been fans who were going to Carrow Road, maybe not expecting to be excited or to enjoy that particular experience. So the fact now that obviously you've had the week that you've got these two games, it feels like, I know you kind of say, well, it's the performances or the training that creates the performances, and you need that confidence beforehand. But I'm sure the fans will have taken, like you say, a lot of confidence and a lot of energy from what they've seen in recent weeks. So, and I'm sure you'll be keen to say, well, there's going to be times over the next two games where you're going to have to defend and you're going to have to endure difficult moments, and that's when you're going to need them.
Totally. So you said everything that I wanted to say. Maybe we can switch positions. No, it's like that. What I said from the beginning. So I understand when the results are not good and the performance is also not good, that fans are not happy. It's normal. So that's the first thing I said when I stepped into the building towards the players. It's about us, what we perform, and then you can get credit back, and then you can get happy people back and energy. It doesn't work the other way around. So I think in a really short time, the players really flipped the situation, and they did on the pitch, and the fans followed. Now I hope that the fans can give extra pushes, because they see how hard they are working, and that's a guarantee for the game now and the games to come. That will be there. I will be very tough on that towards players, and they know also out of the experience how much it helps. So that will be there, and now it's about getting this synergy or energy together to strengthen each other, and like this to get exciting afternoons and evenings in the stadium back, and to create big memories together.
Excellent. Thanks, Philippe. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.